Hey, it's been a few months. Yes, it has. But I'm back. Or if you just found me, no time went by at all for future people. But the people who've been watching a few months. It's been a few months. It's been a summer. It's been a Mercury retrograde. Um, so we're on chapter 10 of On the Heavenly Spheres with Helena Avelar and Luis Ribeiro. This chapter 10 is called The Condition of the Planets. We are in the Condition of the Moon chapter, The Conditions of the Moon. We are on page 157 and we are on the chapter or the heading, not the chapter, the subtitle. I really should learn all these specific things, but whatever. The syzygies or lunations. Okay, let's go. The two principal phases of the moon cycle are the new moon and the full moon. It is at the new moon, during the sun moon conjunction, that the moon becomes subject to the sun's power. Due to its luminosity, the moon only falls under the beams when it is fewer than 12 degrees from the sun. Ew, so not like 15 like everything else. It's a variable thing. The outer planets fall under the beams when they are within 16 degrees. After that, there follows the phase of conjunction, when the moon loses a good deal of power. It's also very dark. As it happens with the planets, this phase only ends when the moon is 12 degrees apart from the sun and visible once more. The new moon marks the beginning of the cycle and symbolizes birth and beginnings. If you go to watch the moon, you can see how messy my desk is in my glasses. If you go to watch a moonrise the day after a new moon, if you're very, very lucky, right at the just tail end of dusk, um, after the sun has gone down for sure, you can catch the tiniest sliver of a moon. It's beautiful. It's right usually at the horizon because the sun's gone down just enough to where you can see just a sliver of a moon. It's nothing you'd see up in the sky, just horizon. Okay, the full moon signals the culmination of the lunation cycle. It corresponds to the exact opposite between the sun and the moon. The exact opposition. The moon is then at its greatest brightness and strength. After this point, it begins to decrease in light, initiating the waning phase, which will culminate in a new conjunction. The new moon and full moon are called lunations or syzygies, a Greek term from the Greek. I want to learn Greek. I don't know that how to say that at all. Which means conjunction, but which in this context can also be applied to the opposition. Let's see, the new and full moon are called lunations or syzygies. Okay. In mundane astrology, the monthly syzygies signal important transition points, whether as climaxes or as initiators of events. In natal charts, it's especially important to determine the prenatal syzygy. If an individual was born after the new moon and before the full moon, the prenatal syzygy will be the degree of the new moon. It is then said that the individual's horoscope is conjunctional. If the birth occurs after the full moon, before the next new moon, the prenatal syzygy will be the degree where the moon was opposite the sun. In this case, the horoscope is said to be preventional. What is your prenatal syzygy? Let's see, because my moon is trine on the farther side. That means it's after the full moon. So I have a conjunctional. Wait, yeah. If it was born after a new moon, oh no, before the new moon. Nope, mine's preventional because it occurs after the full moon, but before the next new moon. Interesting. The prenatal syzygies act as a sensitive point in the horoscope and are used in advance predictive techniques. Florabella Esponca's chart is an example of a conjunctional chart. The moon is in a waxing phase, inching its way towards a full moon. The prenatal syzygy was a new moon at 5 degrees Sagittarius and 9 minutes. The chart of the King Sebastian is an example of a proventional case where he was born shortly after the full moon. In this instance, the previous syzygy was the actual full moon, which occurred at 6 degrees of Leo and 27 minutes, the position of the moon at the moment of the opposition. So sometimes I feel like I need to make a list of all the things to research after I read this, because like, what does it mean to have a conjunctional prenatal syzygy versus a proventional? Oh, curiosity. Occidentality and orientality of the planets to the moon. Oh, in astrological text, references are often made to the orientality and occidentality of the planets in relation to the moon. As with the sun, a planet is oriental of the moon when it rises before the moon and occidental when it sets after it. This is a concept rarely utilized. It is only referred to in very specific interpretive methods. Obviously, this condition does not apply to the sun. A planet is considered strengthened when it is occidental to the moon. In this condition, the planet acts as a maidservant to the queen, carrying the train of her gown. Okay, conditions specific to the moon. There are some conditions that are specific to the moon and that may speak to its condition as a luminary and fastest planet. Via combusta. When the moon is located between the last half of Libra and the first half of Scorpio, it is said to be in via combusta. This position, considered a slight debility, imparts a degree of discomfort and instability to the moon. It is particularly used in horary astrology. In certain questions, the moon in via combusta can indicate a negative answer or a situation of distress. The term via combusta should not be confused with the concept of combustion. In this use, the term combusta refers to a region of the zodiac considered difficult for the moon and not to its proximity to the sun. Some authors state that this condition derives from the fact that Libra and Scorpio are the signs of the fall of the luminaries. Gemini moon. Here be me. Another situation that specifically weakens the moon is its position in Gemini. Since this is the 12th sign from its rulership, therefore a Gemini moon is considered to be in a sort of 12th house position, and because of this, more limited in its expression. Late degrees of a sign. Hold on. Excuse me. Late degrees of a sign. When the moon is located in the last degrees of a sign, it is also considered to be partially weakened. Because it is close to changing signs, it represents unexpected behavior. In addition, at the end of the signs, the moon is always in the terms of the malefic planet, Mars and Saturn. The terms being the bounds. The combination of these two conditions generates discomfort and instability, which are prejudicial to the nature of the moon. Once more, this concept is used largely in horary and electional astrology. In a horary chart, it is suggested that something is soon about to change, a situation, a price, an opinion, etc., and depending on the context of the question. Lunar mansions. Just as the zodiac is divided into 12 signs, corresponding to the annual motion of the sun, the path of the moon in the sky can be divided into 28 houses or lunar mansions. The positions of the stars are used to divide them. In contrast with the signs, which rely on the seasons to mark their boundaries. Another version of the lunar mansions uses a tropical zodiac as its point of reference instead of the stars. In this system, beginning with the first section at 0 degrees Aries, each mansion is equivalent to approximately the path traveled by the moon in one day. All 28 divisions have an equal length of 12 degrees and 51 minutes. This is in effect an exact transposition of a I'm having problems. Sidereal system onto a tropical one, since the significations of each mansion remain the same. And oh, good. So we have charts here. And then on the next page, we'll actually go into the mansions. Let's see, 11 minutes. Let's create a specific lunar mansion video. So I'll pause this a little bit earlier than I normally do, so we can have just a lunar mansion video. Okay, thank you.